Hello, my people. Before we begin, in case you want to know more about me and InterBePaws, please check our introductory video on the same channel. Today, come with me on a journey amidst Himalayan mountains, pine trees, turquoise blue rivers to a small village situated over 100 kilometers from Shimla called Rohru. After reaching Rohru on a bright sunny day, as we drove through the city, I spotted a temporary shed that was sheltering a few cows. We were told that these cows were headed for slaughter, but thankfully were recently rescued. After the necessary initial medical treatment, they will all be sent to Pujarli. Dogs, cows, buffaloes rescued in the valley are all sent up to Pujarli. And Pujarli is exactly where I want to take you all along with me today. And to reach there, Sukhchandji kindly offered to drive us and took us on an hour-long bumpy ride on twisted dusty roads up and up towards Pujarli. Finally, we met the person who is single-handedly running the oldest, largest and the only animal rescue shelter in Rohru district, Dipalaji. I was so eager to get to know her, see how she has been running the show for 30 years, all by herself, meet her animals, hear their stories. But before all of that, I had to ask her, why Rohru? It's not an easy place to reach. I had experienced that just now, firsthand, and not any less an easy place to live. So why? Why Rohru?
Even after my dad passed away and all, I got an opportunity to go abroad, and everybody today also tells me, oh, had you gone to New York and all. So I said, no, for me, New York and Rohru are the same. Because what I want to do, at least in New York, theek hai, there are a lot of, see, evil people are everywhere. But there are a lot of people now doing this work, rescuing, helping, and it's better organized and all. Nobody even knows I exist, and nobody knows there's a place like Pujarli and Rohru and all. So for me, Rohru, New York is the same because what I'm doing. The only difference is that nobody joined me in all these years because they found it too tough.
I get it. Rohru definitely needs Dipalaji. And we talked, and before we realized it started getting dark and it was time to leave already. But only to come again tomorrow and spend another day in these hills. The next day, as strongly recommended by the locals, we first stopped by at the Tikkar village Rudra Devta temple. We headed out, but just as we were approaching Pujarli, our car halted. It could no longer trudge through the so-called roads and basically just gave up. With no other options, we decided to leave the car behind and walk the remaining part. But one thought I couldn't get out of my mind was, how are broken, injured and traumatized animals brought all the way up here, and that too sometimes under extreme weather conditions? And only later on I was told that it's generally on tripals, canvas, the animals are placed and carried all the way up here. Like they say, where there is a will, there is a way. We were greeted by Dipalaji's warm smile again today. As we walked up with her, I saw several cows grazing, being fed and basking in the mountain sun. And then my attention was drawn to another temporary shed. And when Dipalaji asked me to look inside, I saw the cutest calf I have ever seen, who was born just last night, barely a few hours
See
old.
the world. You can see her from inside here.
The mother is looking like, what are you doing here?
No, Babu, we've come to see your baby. Now see, in my house, she's a very old cow. She's a very old cow. And look at the question mark on his forehead. It's a question mark.
Yes.
No?
Yes.
See? How sweet. So, look at him. Now, had he been in somebody else's house, he's a boy, he would have been thrown immediately. Or, what they do is they remove the hoof. They remove. So then the baby cannot get up. And they'll keep the baby under the mother. He dies within a week. But the mother will give milk freely because she thinks that the baby is nearby. So what levels haven't humans fallen at? He would be tied here, mother would be there.
As we walked ahead, Dipalaji shared one story after another of her beloved cows whom she fondly refers to as her bachchas.
I had to go to Rohru for some work. Okay. So I found her in that freezing cold in a nala. Okay? Starving and in deep depression. Like you saw that black cow yesterday? Like she doesn't know now what is going to happen to her. Okay? So this, I don't know how much milk she must have given that family. Remember? Okay, now see, it's so little. Now this one has been hit on the head. So one of her eyes half out from this left eye. And she's blind with this eye. Yeah. This eye was literally half out like this. You know, it was here. So look at her. She can't see from this side. And but we managed to save her. And they had been bitten and I don't know what all. And in a place where they won't have drunk water for months. And in that icy cold, they don't know where to go, where to sit. And the pictures. ये क्या है तुम्हारे सामने? You're my buttercup, a real darling. She was thrown from the gari. Her owners threw her when her entire udder was full of pus. She was running a very high fever because obviously she had given birth and they didn't let the baby chill. So God knows every time they did it, or God knows, she was thrown in this low nala. Babu, koi nahi mera bachcha. खाएगी हम सब करेंगे अभी देंगे और है ना. So her udder, which now looks absolutely empty, was this huge and it was sticking out like that. She was running a very high fever. She had it was full of pus and they threw in the nala. I of course don't get time to go down. Abhi aa rahi hu, Cleo. Let me see. I think he's in the sun. He's in the sun. So
after meeting Buttercup and the other cows, we walked towards the dogs.
10 rooms here, 10 rooms there, those there, then those cages, then oh God knows. Wherever I can put in a dog, I have done it for the night. So now, like today, it's quite late. So we leave some now after this. Okay, these guys will go inside.
Dipalaji and her workers were feeding the dogs when we had arrived this morning. They were being left out in batches.
It is normal to me, okay? Because I have to see that they all get their exercise. Yes. And so I have to leave them in groups because they are, they are not friendly. One group is not friendly. Obviously, they come from different backgrounds. And they've all lived alone. Okay? They've all lived alone. So many of them are not used to another dog.
And then
such a vicious
gorgeous
guy.
little fellow came running towards us.
Now, the
Vincent.
driver who threw this boy, he had a battle with his wife. So he put the mother and the 5 babies in a sack. He's a driver, his owner. Okay? And they went and threw him from one great height, like it's that high. Okay? In the nala. Coco Babu. So I'll keep him open as long as I can in the day, so he socializes. And Coco, Mama ka baby can't hear only. Coco, ah Babu. Acha, this girl, if you see her picture, you see she had no hair, boils, ye wo. And you see from where to where thing. So I find this an opportunity to do whatever little bit I can. But I can't imagine how happy she is now, because when she came, the minute she would see a human, she'd start shivering. Babu, she was first kept as a pet, very small. Okay? And she came to me when she was, I'll show you a picture of her.
And your picture on WhatsApp?
No.
It's on another.
Oh, that is a blind one, my Chidiya. She's another one. She can't hear, she's stone deaf, Chidiya.
Okay.
And she couldn't see. Early on, she couldn't see. Coco, see how friendly she is, how much she loves people now. So that is an achievement. Like many people say, kya kiya with her life, she's ruined everything. I don't give it a thought, because for me, This is the greatest gift.
So when I came, I'm seeing Himachal Devbhoomi, Devbhoomi. I'll tell you one thing, Dipalaji, I was thinking what Dev and all. Now I meet you, I hear your story. For these dogs and animals, you are the Dev.
Yeah,
I
but
think I have seen Dev for them, you are the God.
no, that is
And
God's
God
blessing.
Okay, God's blessing through you.
That's her being humble. And then it was time for another story. And this one shook me. Shook me real hard.
The girl who rescued the donkey from Chandigarh, she was driving up. Okay, she rescued a donkey who had been tied with wires, and the stakes had been put into the ground near Dera Basi and Chandigarh. Okay, a place which was hot with not even this much of shade. And he was being beaten every day by his owners. The owner would come in the evening to break his spirit. He's a young donkey.
But why do you want to break the spirit of a donkey? Why?
Because they want him to carry loads which he cannot. He was such a tiny baby. So they tied him with wires, and he's been made to stand like that. So as many days as he hadn't got anything to eat, nothing to drink. He was in that position for God knows how many days. He's the one who's tied like that.
He's the one
Who's being beaten. Yeah. He's been with me for what, 8-9 months now. Now he's grown to this size. Lucky, his name is Lucky.
He
so
is lucky. He
very
really-
sweet.
Yeah, I don't know why he was there, but today he's definitely lucky.
Yeah. So now he's very sweet.
As we bade bye to Lucky, we were introduced to Rimjim.
At face, and her baby would be on one side. If it was a male, he would already be thrown long time back or starved. Now see, look at her. Thing. And they kept saying, the mother's in great discomfort and all. We'll have to take out some milk. I said, for whom? Let nature see today. He drinks, she drinks, it's a she.
Okay.
Babu, Rim Jim. Rim Jim. And I want her to be fearless. And I want her to be healthy. So see, she drinks as and when she comes.
Yeah.
And see, now the mother's so happy.
Confidently she's coming. She's not afraid. She's not afraid.
Yeah.
Rim Jim.
I may not have a very comfortable place,
But you have very comfortable animals. See, that is what matters. Isn't it, Rim Jim?
See? And they kept saying, no, we'll have to make, because they know I won't let them milk. So they said, no, for the dogs you can take it out. I said, for what? It's hers. It's for the first time the mother is being able to feed her baby the way it was meant to be.
How many cows today?
Today I have 58 cows. 58.
Okay.
And 69 dogs.
Almost 69 dogs.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's you're talking about almost
Because
over
I
100.
couldn't say no.
Yeah. I have no doubt that you also communicate with these animals in your way,
Fully.
which it's impossible to have these many traumatized cows, traumatized physically, mentally cows, dogs, donkeys, cats, without having a communication. You are communicating
No,
with them
because
already.
I firmly believe that we are not beings who just are born and die. I firmly believe, okay? And I firmly believe that these who have now come as helpless, voiceless beings in front of us, they are not ordinary. Our ancestors, all are great people of the past, whether they came from a different planet, which I firmly also believe now, okay? Because it can't be that from monkeys you jumped onto making the most beautiful structures on this planet.
I totally agree.
So, okay, so we came wherever we came from. Why did they give animals such an importance in our thing? To make the common man understand. Every devta, god, Indian god, 65,000 gods we have, had one animal or one bird or one insect as his viman, meaning as his way of transport or something that was as traveling, because they wanted the common man with the least amount of intellect to understand that you have to protect.
And listening to all her stories, I know for sure, protected here they are. Another story I really wanted to hear from her is, how did all of this start?
See, I didn't plan to come here. It was just that my father's property had been illegally occupied by people, and they had tried to kill him. and they burnt his house.
Okay.
And he was a man in his 80s, mid 80s.
Okay.
So I left my job to look after him in his last year.
Okay.
So, you know, I left my job. I was working in Delhi in an American buying house.
Okay.
And I left my job to come and look after him.
Yeah.
And so after that, I could actually feel how much he must have suffered, because he's a man of few words.
Okay.
And to have burnt a house of a man in his 80s just for his property, somehow I just couldn't get over it.
Yeah.
And after he passed on, I came to just manage the bit that was left.
Okay.
Because I knew we had dogs, we had cows, and we had workers, but obviously, you know, I knew that they weren't going to be looked after if I didn't come.
Yeah.
So I came initially with that,
Yeah.
you know, that I would look after the dogs we had, the cows we had. And then within months, I saw what was actually happening here.
Okay.
People would turn out their cows, you know, or they would hang their dogs if they didn't want their dogs. They would poison. It was just a way of life.
Yeah.
You know, it was a way of life. Like, nobody objected to it. If somebody would turn out the cow, and if the poor cow came home, nobody even gave it a thought if somebody chopped off one of her legs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, it was not even, I can't put it into words like what it was for me. But I started rescuing cows. That's how I started. It was just this, that I had so much of land.
Yeah.
So if somebody can't keep one dog,
Yeah.
I had enough land for thousands of dogs. So I would bring them home, feed them, look after them.
Yeah.
And it just took off from there. I'd be saving everything from goats, donkeys, horses, cows. I mean, it didn't stop.
And this journey hasn't stopped. It's been 30 years already.
Yeah.
Which is a very long time.
Yeah.
I have heard your stories outside. We've talked, and 30 years of being by yourself and against all odds. I mean, the number of odds, if I count, I mean, there are numerous. Your house being set to fire, I think, is a very big, it is unthinkable, unimaginable, especially when you have such a large responsibility on your shoulders. So one thing that I definitely want to ask and know is, with all those difficulties, with this rich experience of 30 years looking after animals, what is the advice you can give to the young animal activists out there in India and even outside who are sitting on that journey? I hope they get a lot of support, but in your case, all the obstacles also they faced. What is the advice you can give them? What would be maybe the top advice you can give them?
See, anybody who is venturing into this particular line must know that it's not easy. Otherwise, the world wouldn't be such a cruel place. It's just that we know that we are up against maybe 90% of people who are averse to rescuing and saving animals. Now, I've given life a lot of thought, and I know it's not easy for anyone. Okay? And when it comes to making compromises, which side do you want to be on? Is it for yourself or is it for somebody else? So when I saw my life, it's never going to be easy. I know it. I've always made choices with the other in mind. And it's not a sacrifice. It is my choice. So when people tell me that you wasted your life living in this area, you made a mess of your life, this, that, and the other, I don't see it as a mess. I see it as a great success, a blessing, that I could help so many. I could help so many. And why I chose animals, I would have also gone into another field, which environment is of great interest to me. And at the same time, I do my little bit. But the other was children being trafficked all over the world. So this was my other. But why I chose this was because even those children who are being trafficked, for all the wrong reasons all over the world, all this has been experimented on the ones who truly couldn't fight, who truly couldn't cry, who nobody bothered about. Like if a child is raped, it makes headlines most of the time. Okay, but when an animal is raped, nobody gives it a thought.
That is something to think about. She's helping the voiceless. But how can someone like me and you help her in her journey?
One of our biggest problems is finance.
Okay.
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 I mean, I did whatever I could.
Yeah.
Sold my land even if I had to.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay. But finances, because without finance, no bills can be paid.
Yes.
I need, like in my particular place, I need proper shelters. You know, proper. You saw the kind of stuff I've done. So we need finance, basically.
Yes.
And if anybody wants to volunteer,
Yeah.
because genuine volunteers really worth their weight in gold. Because they'll do. You've seen how much we have to shell out every month for unwilling people to do something that should be done, but it's only the lure of money which is making them stay.
Yes.
Otherwise they don't get, they don't get regular work elsewhere. But with me, they get work 365 days a year. So they're ready to put it in, ready to work. They earn well and all that. But it's not only disheartening, but you can lose your cool actually when you do everything you can for them. And they really don't give a damn for the animal, whether they are dying or whatever. So you have to be on your toes 24 hours a day. So you've seen, like today I've taken a break because, you will have taken the trouble to come from such a distance, So I'm really deeply grateful you want to help. So I believe the gods have sent you to me. And, but otherwise I have to be with them, 24 hours. Not 24 hours, as long as they are 5:36. And then after that, my own life starts, leaving the dogs out, letting them get their full exercise, then checking the kennels.
For a volunteer, they will come here with a purpose, and I can already see that if they come and they go back, they'll go back with a very enriching experience, which can actually help them not only in doing something for animals, but even in their personal lives. My only visit for 2 days here has already enriched me, so I can imagine what a volunteer can gain from here. So if you had to maybe talk a little bit about what is a day for the volunteer would look like, or what are the responsibilities that they would have to do, so that they get an idea of what their day could be like here.
Like you've seen what our workers are doing. It's basically helping. We are cooking food for the dogs. We're cleaning the kennels. What I really need is, what these people don't understand is that I need people who will help me bathe the dogs. I mean, of course, there were times I could bathe 17, 18 dogs a day, but now it's different for me. I have so many, I have to be everywhere. Like
65 dogs.
69
dogs. Told me.
So, it's not the number has never really bothered me. With the climate here, you can't bathe them every day. And you shouldn't also. But even if once a month I could bathe them, then they are free of their diseases, the skin infections that we've rescued them. When we rescue them, they're in a very bad condition.
Are there any projects where people can become a part of, even if it is financially? Say they can say, I want to sponsor this shed, for example. So are there projects like this you have in mind? Some people talk about getting an ambulance. Some people talk about, say, sponsoring the salary of one employee, whatever they have the capacity. So are there projects like this which they can become a part of?
See, right now I have had no time to plan on any projects. Because the basic bottom line is, where's the finance? Who are the people? Nobody here is interested. You've seen it. In 30 years, if nobody could join me, they still tell me, get rid of them. And some of them do it gently. I mean, they are polite enough to tell me that, look, you're getting on in years, just put them in garis and in vehicles and put them, send them 50, 60 kilometers away. Yet others will threaten that if they come onto our land, we'll poison them, we'll break their legs, we'll break their heads and stuff like that. So I haven't had time to think of all new projects, but if anybody does want to, you're more than welcome, because I need proper kennels. I need, proper, I need proper everything, like proper cow shed. Now I have donkeys. I'm planning to get some mules also by the winter again. I had mules early on, rescued with broken legs and stuff like that. So anybody who wants to help in any which way is more than welcome, because I have reached that state where I'm looking for someone who either wants to help me run this place, whatever land I have is still big enough for a good sanctuary if it's well planned out, and I'm growing pine trees instead of apple trees, with which people find it very strange.
We saw the pine tree saplings yesterday. They are planted all over.
Yes, so I want to, I am seeing it from the point when I will not be there, okay? And so I want somebody who's genuinely interested in running the place, because obviously after me, none of my family members are going to come. If I die and nobody has joined me till then what will happen? The locals will encroach. They'll throw my animals on the roads, or kill them, poison them, whatever, pack them onto vehicles and throw them hundreds of kilometers away, and all that. So that is what I'm aiming at, that somebody who can join me to run this place, who understands the depth of my feelings for all of them, and it's a beautiful life, I think, if one is, but it needs proper planning. And then once it's got a nucleus body, we have a basic people planning, and we are getting the decent amount of funds, all that. It's not juggling like, okay, I have this much now, I paid this bill, I hold on to this one till next month. Nothing like that. If it's well planned out, I think it can be an example for this entire area. A well-run shelter. What I want it to be a self-sustaining place.
Yes.
Because the land is huge and big enough. And if we have some crops that grow fast, give good money. So one section can be only a farm, or or certain mushrooms, which are very, very expensive, grown in greenhouses. One area can be marked for that. Only a farm. Only. And all the income that's generated, I'm sure good people will donate even then. But yes, a certain solid income is coming from the farm itself. But for that we need, again, finance, good planning, people.
Management, and people.
Who have the interest, who have the knowledge. So now my thing is that whatever bit I have left should be for the benefit of abandoned and abused animals. In one way or another.
And anyone who's even interested in actually joining or coming along has to be, I think, if you have a job description, the number one point is about the purpose should be about animals. Animals come first, and then everything else, whatever it is, comes later.
How best to use this land? How best to use for them? I don't want anything for myself.
I have seen that.
Yes. So that's the way
I think
it goes.
we also saw that. Forget needing anything, you've not even eaten anything. It's been a whole day since we've been with you. You've not even eaten anything really so far. But you have actually fed the dogs. I just saw you fed the siropu that you're preparing for them. So that has been done, but your food hasn't happened yet. So
that really doesn't think, because my body is used to it now. Because once you take on this work, this is not something easy. See, many people don't know what they want. They think that going out into into nature and all will be easy. Let me tell you, the mountains are beautiful, but life is very, very difficult. Very difficult. Because when the electricity goes, or you don't have water, how are you going to manage? So somebody who's interested in it genuinely always finds a way out. Like I did. I was never, we were not used to it. I know I too had a job in the city, this, that, whatever. But when you take on something, how would you do it if you had a kid and everything went up against you? You'd make sure that the baby survived and survived well, So that's what I'm doing against all odds. You've heard of I've told you a lot of my experiences. So now, but I'm still looking forward. I'm still optimistic about it. And that is, I think, how I carry on. Because all these new pups that I brought home, I'm treating them, I'm feeding them well, I made them a little playpen for the day and a different place for the night, but I want a proper organized thing, proper organized area where suppose I get an ill dog, then he must have a secluded place, a warm place where I can keep. I must, have a proper place where I can bathe the dogs even in the winters, with a heater. That's what I had planned.
Her plans, her dreams, her optimism, but most importantly, her selfless service towards these dogs, cows, donkeys, mules. Every single second spent with Dipalaji is a source of deep inspiration. A glance into what a purposeful life looks like. I'm filled with gratitude towards her for taking out all this time and sharing all her stories with me today. Till we meet again.